Yeah, so
Do mom and dad see these?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you can swear if you want to, or like.
I gotta know like the limits. That.
So yeah, I'm gonna do the intro. I'm definitely gonna like put part of that in there where it's
Okay.
like his mom and dad listening to this. So I'm definitely gonna put that in.
That's
But-
fine.
Alright, so you know me, it's Sam, Wizard Variety Show. Back.
Little bro. In
Little
the
bro.
mix.
He's taller than me. I picked this chair. I didn't pick this chair actually. Tom picked that chair. It's more comfortable. I just don't want people to think that.
Oh, it was a power move.
Yeah, it wasn't a power move. Because I still feel like this is it's less of a like leisure chair. It's more of like a sit interview chair. Like I'm a little more upright.
Yeah. At least you didn't do the thing where you like make me sit down first. You're like
Yeah.
standing there until I sit down. Like Jimmy Fallon or whatever.
Standing over you.
Yeah. That's
Jimmy
fine.
Fallon does that? He's my
They all do that.
he's
They,
my
like,
preferred Jimmy.
that's like the rule at the talk show. You can't sit down till your guest sits down.
Oh yeah.
It's
when
like a power move.
I heard that's like really hard to like get out, like to walk onto that stage. It's like one of the most intimidating things ever.
Oh, I bet. In front of a ton of people. I'd be like shaking walking
Because you
out.
just have to like,
Yeah, exactly.
hey, how's it going?
The first one would be the worst. Like the
Yeah.
first talk show.
Yeah,
and then you
shambles.
like, yeah.
But yeah, happy 313 day, by the way.
Oh, really? Is that today?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fake Detroiter. I didn't even know.
You know, you're not really a fake Detroiter because we're technically not Detroiters.
Yeah. But
Speak-
what makes you a Detroiter being born here?
Nah, I guess we are Detroiters.
Do we contribute to the economy?
We're Detroiters. You're right. You're
I'll
right.
go by that.
For sure. We're just not like, we're not saying we're like from Detroit, which we're not. So.
Well, would you consider yourself more Grand Rapids than Detroit?
No.
No. Okay,
No, I
neither
won't.
would
I would consider myself more Detroit than
I
Grand
went to
Rapids.
Detroit or Grand Rapids like 4 times.
I have spent time in Grand Rapids, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just I prefer. I've lived here. It's like one of the 2 places I've lived.
There's more culture here too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What was I gonna ask you? Oh, so how do you feel about your transition from West Michigan to the East Side?
I think I like it a lot just because I think it's easier to, I don't know, get things done. Like anything I want to do, I want to go to a golf store, which isn't like, I mean,
Yeah, it's not.
that's like not as common on the west side, I feel like, or like, I don't know, are there more art stores over here? Like, I think it's just like easier to like,
Yeah, everything's more accessible, I guess.
I think that's like the best way to put it. I think the people over here on the east side are a little bit more like mind your own business, which I like. On the west side, it's a lot, especially in Saugatuck, very let me pay attention to what everyone else is doing.
It's true.
It's kind of nice not to have that.
Yeah, the pressure of like knowing someone is paying attention to everything you're doing, and yeah, that is it's kind of a double-edged sword too. I think a little bit, just because like Saugatuck, it is cool that there's like such a community presence.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it can get a little overwhelming.
I think when you're like a teenager, like when you're 20 and figuring stuff out, you don't want that as
No.
much. Like you don't want people like looking over your shoulder telling you like you're wrong in certain areas. But like when you get older, like when you get more mature, you kind of start to like realize that like that had its place in your life for sure.
Yeah.
Like you learned a lot.
Yeah, there's days where I just don't want to be bothered, and you don't want to be social, and then you don't feel the pressure where you have to be social, or you like. Yeah, I don't really want to text anyone back today. I just want to like work on my
Oh, yeah.
stuff and kind of do that. So, but that is hard because it's just like you should text people back and
Yeah.
be like obligatory. I don't know, not like
But it's easy to kind of check out when you're like away from people.
yeah,
That's the easiest. Like when you're with people, it's easy to remember like, oh, I have to check in on this person. But that's part of moving away. I
Yeah.
feel like.
yeah. You kind of had a triangle set where you went West Michigan, and you went up, and then you went over here.
Oh yeah.
You didn't finish it, and you probably won't finish it. You probably won't go back.
Maybe you go down and hit a diamond.
Yeah,
Hit it like
diamond. But Central Michigan, tell me about it.
I wasn't the hugest fan of like the college scene. I think I kind of expected more of a social town and like a party town.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more I don't know. A lot of the focus was on football, which was cool, but then a lot of the focus was on God knows what, like farming. Like I don't even know what that town
Casinos?
liked to do. Yeah, everyone wanted to go to the casino. There weren't that many like house parties when I was there. It was also the year after COVID though, so
Yeah.
I don't think that helped, especially with Central. Like one of the biggest pulls being it's a party school, or
Yeah.
like that they throw house parties and stuff. And there weren't that many of those, but
Yeah. Yeah, nah, I just remember the basketball camps where we like ran to Buffalo Wild Wings and
yeah,
but,
we broke the rules.
yeah,
went off
whatever.
campus
Whatever.
and broke my nose.
And broke your nose.
Should have been a sign.
Should have been the indicator right there that you should have known
Yeah.
the whole time. That's all right. I mean, you don't know until you try. I'm
Yeah.
happy like you were like you're stubborn but in a good way, I think, where you know like right away. You're like, no.
Yeah, for sure. I think that probably is from growing up with you and like how we grew up. Because I know you're super stubborn too. But yeah, right away.
I just think we know what we want.
Yeah. I mean, a month in, I was telling mom and dad that I wasn't a fan of the campus, and
Yeah.
that and then I started falling behind in my classes, and then it was just like a downhill spiral from there, and I was just like, I gotta reset.
Yeah, being around. Yeah, that's just not a great place to be in, I think. It's not like an environment that sets you up for success. Plus you had like sports, which is just
Yeah.
a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah, for sure. And as a walk-on, you have to like go through more of an effort to get help in certain areas, like whether it be academically or even on the field. You kind of have to like go out of your way to get more help. And I don't think I was really in the place to be doing all that. I don't know if it was like a lack of care, like a lack of I don't even know. It could have been a lack of confidence. I just like was scared of something, and then on top of that, my grades were falling. And it just became like a whole downfall,
Yeah.
for sure.
Sometimes with these sports, it's like they don't even put you in a place to like succeed. I just feel like that's kind of like where it's like you should be put in a place where you're like, I have the confidence to do this and I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like sports, like they make it more competitive where they like almost shun the person that's the loser instead of the winner.
Yeah, instead of like uplifting the winner.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that could definitely be true. Losing, like in our society, is so looked down upon in general. I think that's something that I got over in the last year. Like when you lose, it's like an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
No matter what part of your life it's in, it's just room for growth. And
Yeah.
if you don't learn from it, then that's your fault. So,
Yeah, true. You gotta keep failing. And I love that. So you're done with sports now. How do you feel about that transition?
I mean, I might pick up intramural basketball.
Yep.
But
We could get a team going. I'm ready to.
How does that work? We would have to do like
I would just say I would have to say I'm a student.
Oh, you
probably.
would?
Yeah.
we could probably do an out of like a rec league.
Yeah. We could do or like the YMCA or more. I'm trying to think of where we could do it, but more would be free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say you're a student.
Yeah, I would love to because I
That'd be
love
fun.
pickup basketball. It's so much fun. I mean, I know it's like you're like prone to get hurt too much,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not trying to go too hard. Like I'm trying to stay in shape.
Wear like an arm sleeve and a headband. Go all out.
Ooh, that's a good question for you. Yeah, Stormer shot. But what was I gonna say? So how is your gym like your gym stuff transitioned since then? Like, are you doing different stuff now? I know you are, but
Yeah, I would say that during football it was a lot of like during season it was low weight, high reps, and then out of season it was high weight, low reps.
yeah,
And now it's kind of like I like to do volume more. Like I like to lift heavier now than I did when I stopped playing. For a while there, I didn't like to lift heavy at all because I wanted to just be a kid and be
Yeah.
a child and
Yeah.
frolic in the fields.
yep.
Not
Yeah,
have to worry
frolic.
about my body being
Shy.
hurt. But
Anthony Grack.
yeah. But we got back into it, and we got back into the program. I think football definitely helped set me up to like I understand a lot of like the lifting stuff and like the body parts and stuff. What lifts do what for each body part. I think that's definitely been a huge help for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Definitely the like anatomy of it. I feel like it's got to help you.
Yeah, I mean, there were always like weird little exercises we would do, especially at Central that like I picked up on and that I still do with like, I go lift with Griffin and we go do like some of those movements and it's good. I'm his trainer. We're gonna get him to the league.
Yeah. How did he had his thing right? His pro day. I saw him nail the one from like 50.
It was, I think it was from
Yeah,
the
60
50
yards.
but it was 60.
Yeah.
I think he just missed one from 63, and then he moved it up to 60, and then nailed that one. I think it went pretty well for him.
That's awesome.
Didn't have to run any of the 40 or the vertical.
Why would he? He's athletic enough for a kicker,
he is
especially.
athletic for a
I
kicker,
feel like,
for sure.
yeah,
I wouldn't make him do any of that. You don't want someone. Imagine you have a kicker do that, and then they get hurt, and then they could have changed your program or something, and you didn't. You made him run a 40-yard dash.
Yeah, it ruins your whole thing.
Yeah.
I agree. Kobe's been a big part of your life.
Yep, that's a huge part. I feel like the college pet is like such a must for some people.
Yeah, it is.
Like without him, I don't know if I'd still be in college. I probably would have dropped out or something. He's my emotional support.
Yeah, an emotional support animal. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, he's a great dog. He just has got such a good temperament to him.
Let him know you said that. He'll like that.
He knows how I feel about him.
Yeah, I should have brought him. He probably would have been going crazy.
Sat in here. Pond is outside right now.
Catch him some mice or?
No, he probably just is sitting under the deck. That's all he does. He just sits under there.
Does he fight with the neighborhood cats at all?
No, I don't know. They just seem like they mind their business.
That's good. See, the east side of the state, everyone minds their business.
It's true.
That's a callback.
Yeah. I mean, I told you about the other day when I was walking. I heard that car accident. I walk the other way. I'm not. West Michigan, people would probably be like, "Ooh, what's going on?"
You want to be a part of it.
Yeah,
man.
you want a rubberneck, but I'm not doing that.
That's not worth it here. Just so you can see what or be a part of what's going on.
Yeah.
Have someone shoot you or something.
Yeah, no, I'd rather keep my wallet.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, cool, you could rob me, but I don't really have much money, so.
Yeah, because you said they stole the car and then they were running away.
Yeah, it sounded like kids stole a car, and then I heard a crash, and then there were kids running, and then there was this guy driving around the block while I was walking. He was on my street. He pulled in, and then he backed up the whole way just because I think maybe he saw the kids. But I was just, like, head down.
Was he, like, their getaway?
I don't know if he was their getaway
or he was trying to catch them.
He was trying to catch them. What's your favorite part about Detroit?
I think it's kind of a cheat for me to say because, like, I just came and then the Lions started doing really well. But, like, the culture in the city and like the vibes of the city during this fall and like the winter and like how excited everyone was for the Lions, that was like the coolest part of being out here for sure.
Yeah, sports team energy is crazy.
Yeah, and we don't have it with the Pistons.
No,
either.
and I couldn't imagine like if like basketball. I think it's so important for basketball because that's like during the worst months of the year.
Yeah, you need something to look at, like.
And if people were like so excited about the Pistons, I just couldn't imagine this Detroit economy. It would be incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Because baseball, everyone is losing their minds regardless of how good they're going to be because opening day is such a big thing. Like, it's so big. And everyone loves it. Like, I love it. Like, I want to go to the game. I love the Tigers.
It's kind of weird, though, how people are fine going to, like, a baseball game where they know their team's going to lose, but then football, they're less likely to go. Because I feel like the Lions weren't that busy, like, 7 years ago. Like, there was, like, not that many people there. Like, there was still, like, a decent amount of people, like, cheering them on, but, like, I feel like probably more people going to baseball.
I remember even a few years ago, I went to a Lions game way up there, but it was, like, $40, and it was Kansas City. Like, it was a good game. Good team to see play. Stafford was playing. Doesn't matter. Like, it wasn't
Stafford days.
Yeah. Wow. Different era. But I did the baseball really reminds me of like our core memories. Like going to Detroit. I think that is such a pivotal part of me coming here. Was like when we would travel over here. I just thought the city was so cool, and everyone likes to remind me that the 80s Detroit was not the same, but it's like, okay, well, we're young, so
Yeah.
deal with it. I mean, that's not the experience we had. I've only had good experiences in this town, besides my car getting broken into. But that was,
Are they saying the 80s were like so bad?
yeah.
Well, what about the people who say that the 50s, when this was like the Paris of the Midwest? Like, I mean, it went down, but it's coming back up.
Yeah, it is. Downtown is incredible. I mean, it's very, like, corporate, but it's very incredible.
Yeah. Downtown's like, I like going downtown a lot, especially on weekends. But, I mean, if you go down there on a weekday, there's still a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, not just drinking culture, but I guess the bars are here are very cool, and
Oh, yeah.
food is incredible.
Like super old bars that are like that one that's like 120 years old or
Yeah,
whatever that
yeah.
went through the Prohibition. That was the one that Dad called out.
Something, yeah.
The Green, or I don't know if that's
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I thought it was close to here. But yeah, like my niche, when I'm talking about my podcast space, it's not really Detroit, but you know, I just feel like it's good to show, like, say nice things about Detroit. I like that
Oh, yeah.
brand name. I like that a lot. That's a company, and they say
That's
stuff.
it says say nice stuff
Yeah,
about Detroit.
yeah, say nice things about Detroit.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
because
didn't even know that was a thing.
you just hear all this nasty
There's so
stuff.
much slander about Detroit.
Yeah, and it's usually people that are either like from like
Grosse Pointe or something.
yeah, or like New Orleans, or like, you know, like just someone that's like not from here.
Yeah. Or someone like us from Saugatuck who's just
Yeah.
didn't like it as much as we did
No.
and decided to start talking shit about it
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah, it can be very isolating, I think, being in a big city, especially coming from where we come from, where
Yeah.
you graduate in a class under 90, both of us.
I had under 60 or
Yeah.
55.
Yeah,
Like we were
that's crazy.
tiny.
Yeah, so I think it really kind of tests your, not your social, it does test your social skills, but more like in the way that like you're meeting, we've only dealt with white people most our lives.
That's
So
for sure.
it's
Yeah.
nice to get a little bit of diversity in, or it's just like a different perspective from different people. So,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like people there almost like have to like you or like have to put up with you.
yeah,
And here it's
you're like family almost.
yeah. If you don't like them, then you have to put up with them
Yeah.
no matter what. And here it's like you can just go somewhere else. Like,
Yeah, yeah, you really can. You could hang out with people from Royal Oak, and then be like, I don't like these people, and then develop a friend group in Grosse Pointe.
yeah,
That's crazy.
Exactly. And then come to like Highland Park or something.
Yeah, well, that'd be a lot more fun. Be a lot more fun. That's one of my favorites. Is Highland Park, I think.
Highland Park's cool. They have like a little village inside of Highland Park that like they're like making like this woman's like making a village and she has like her own. There's like a STEM lab for the kids. There's like a homework house that they bought for the kids. I think Ellen like donated like one of those like rollaway homes or whatever they're called.
Oh,
for,
nice.
Town hall. It's cool.
Wow, I'm trying to think. Because I always think about like us watching movies in the car. I think that really kind of put me towards a movie track.
Yeah, I remember watching like. I remember a couple like specific moments. I remember Ratatouille when we were about to go into the tunnels when we were in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
And then I remember watching Daddy Daycare on the way to Pennsylvania.
all the time.
And we were like
we
by
watched that
that.
movie 800 times.
Yeah, we were right by the probably. Yeah, I mean, too many times to count. And,
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, me too.
Who's the guy who's in who's the big
Jeff Garland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, Jeff Garland. And then Steve Zahn, who is like the the nerd, the Star Trek nerd. Indiana Jones movies, I remember like us watching, I think probably just to Pennsylvania. Like,
Yeah. I feel like that was a huge part, like, because it's like you don't always remember like the days when you were just sitting on the couch as a kid, but you remember when you drove to Pennsylvania with
Yeah.
your family, or
Yeah.
like when I like jumped in the hot tub with my phone.
Yep,
You remember that one?
yep, Lancaster. Lancaster's finest.
I think a core memory of mine that I can remember right now. I mean, there's millions more, but you just brought up the fact that we used to come over here. I remember when Mom and Dad told us we were going to Detroit, and we came all the way over here, and then we were like tailgating, but we weren't going to the game. They said.
Oh yeah.
And then like but we didn't catch on.
had no
like
clue.
we were like sitting
No.
there and they were drinking. We're all wearing Tiger stuff.
Yeah,
And then like
where are your
10
Tiger
minutes
stuff?
before.
But we're not going to the game.
Yeah, yeah. And we didn't think anything of it. 10 minutes before, they're like, "All right, we're going to the game," and we're like, "What?"
Yeah, shocked. Who knows with sports? Like, I just feel like you think there's a bad signing, and all of a sudden they turn out. Like, Jalen Brunson got clowned, and now he's like a Knicks legend.
It's a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. That always happens. I think it's because everyday Joes think that they could be GMs and, like, people who...
I hate that.
People who never step foot in the field in their life. Or, like, it's like... Theodore Roosevelt about the arena.
In
like
the arena.
Man in the arena.
Yeah,
it's like, people love to make comments about it, but they're sitting in the stands watching because that's all they could do. They couldn't. Like, if they could have made it to the NBA, they would have.
Yeah, I think LeBron gets an unwarranted amount of hate.
Yeah.
He's kind of a clown, and I like that he's a little corny, but I think he gets, like, an insane amount, and it's honestly just because of how long he's done it for.
Yeah, how long he's been. I have no hate for LeBron. I think it's funny when the lip syncing videos always make me laugh.
Yes.
When he's just, like, super far behind, he's just like... And you're like, well, bro, you're like, just don't record yourself doing that if you don't know the words. Like, you're just choosing to fail right now.
I like when he is like, what's your favorite quote from Malcolm X? And he's like, oh, there's a lot of them. And he, like, hasn't read the book.
yeah, it's like on the second page or something.
Yeah, and he's like, there's a lot of them, yeah. Or, like, what's it called? When he said that he made the deluxe album, he's like, you should put a few more songs on there to 2 Chainz. It's like, yeah, LeBron, you made the deluxe album.
Gosh, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, that, like, if there was social media back then when Michael Jordan was around, it could have been crazier, because, what's it called? He was like...
Oh, he wasn't that good.
He was gambling. If a homeless person asked for money, he'd be like, fuck no. He would be like, no, probably not. But
that one's when you got to get used to in Detroit, like, kind of like seeing homeless people.
Yeah, just a little aware of, like, people that are because I mean, I read a book about it, and it's like you should acknowledge. I mean, we were taught to not acknowledge.
I totally saw a homeless guy on the way here, and he was, like, staring at me, and I did one of these, and I was like, and I just pretended not to see him. I was doing that because he kept, like, trying to, like, look at me.
Yeah.
I was just like...
I think it depends on the situation. Because if you're, like, going somewhere, or you don't have the time to interact, don't interact. But I just, like, one time I was waiting at a light, and I told a guy I had no money for him. Because I only had my cards. And we just started talking. It was a good conversation. But it was just, like, to acknowledge that they're human beings is huge.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard when... Like, I think that's, like, a really good point. I think that's something that I should probably try and do, but it's also...
I don't do it all the time. I just want to say that.
I mean, you can't expect it every time.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just... I think it's hard when you try and talk to someone, and then you're like, I don't have cash on me, and they're like, all right, anyways, and then they, like, walk away, and you're like, am I a human? Like, are you going to treat me like a human?
Yeah.
Like, just because I don't have money for you?
Yes, for sure.
But, I mean, I'm sure that's because they get brushed off so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
like,
said that I brushed one off on the
like,
way here.
Desensitized to it.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. It's like you start, this like becomes your lifestyle, and then all of a sudden this is what you're used to doing, and I don't like that at all. That makes me that's like the hardest part for me, I think.
There's probably like a serotonin boost that you get to when you like, or whatever, dopamine or whatever the chemical is when you ask someone for money and they just give it to you, and that's all you had to do. You didn't have to work.
I mean,
really
in the scale of it too, it's like people are like, oh, homeless people probably make more money. I don't think that's true.
I don't either. I think that, like, maybe, like, 28,000 would be a number that someone like that could make in a whole year. And that's, like... I mean, that's not, like... For me, like, in college, like, that's a good number. But,
that's
like,
a good number.
To pay for a house
bills,
or kids or whatever you have, like, that's...
Yeah, it's not really attainable.
Yeah, no, that's like, well under the poverty line in America. Like, I mean, that's... I don't know what the line is exactly, but I remember at one point it was, like, 36,000. Now it's probably closer to 50.
Yeah, which is wild.
Yeah,
because I read something about, like, what's it called? 100,000 is considered lower middle class now.
I saw that
Franco.
in a lot of states, in, like, specifically California.
Yeah, I don't think it would be here. I think that would still be...
150K here gets you a long ways. Yeah. That's, like, pretty good.
Especially if you're living by yourself and you're not really... Like, for me, 50,000 is pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I would be able to manage on that easily. For sure.
Especially when you do a speech or something in front of people.
Oh my god.
Those are like, you see all of your
masculine
icks and stuff, or your little weird things that you do with your hands or whatever it might be. Yeah.
Shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that could be done better because sometimes I don't get nervous for certain things, but like in school, it's because it's like built up to be this thing.
Yeah. You have 12 weeks of class to have one speech that's worth 80% of your grade. And you're like,
Yeah, I'm gonna be in shambles. Sorry.
yeah.
It's just the way these things are structured.
Yeah, and they act like they don't do it on purpose. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, because I remember I had my speech class with just like 12 people, so it was kind of like an intimate
It's
class.
almost worse.
Yeah. It was a small room. It was in Manugian.
And you have to, like, work the room more.
Yeah.
Instead of just, like, kind of looking in a vague area. If
Yeah.
there's 50 kids in there.
Yeah. Oh my, I don't know if I could do 50.
Really? I had one that was like 30 and I was like fine, and then I had one that was like 12 and I was uncomfortable because I was like, or maybe it was like 10 kids and I was like looking at all of them and I was like, this is kind of weird. Like,
I actually, you got a good point because I think about that because I actually knew a good amount of people in the 12-person class. Like we actually all kind of became
Yeah.
close because we had group stuff.
you
And
almost
like,
have to in those
yeah,
small
so
classes.
we know each other. I knew at least 5 people in the class, so I was a little more.
a lot
Stakes
of-
are higher, I
Yeah,
think.
that's a lot of the class. You don't
Yeah.
want people to judge. I think that's a lot of it though. Like when you're a kid, you don't want people to judge you, and then you do something like that, and you think that you might have messed up here or there. Then no one gives.
No
a
one
shit.
cares.
You're